Sadhu Sangha is most valuable, important, always, but especially in Kali Yuga. Very rare. It's very rare. So not so many devotees. So it's very rare and very special that we can be in an association, in a Sangha, where everyone is interested in Krishna consciousness. So we should be very grateful that we can have this. Hare Krishna. So, I will read from Bhagavad Gita, and then I will read some verses from Srimad-Bhagavatam, and try to connect this. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. With this mantra, which we chant always before reciting our scripture, we offer respectful obeisances to the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Vasudeva, who is none other than Krishna himself, the son of Vasudeva. So, we are now in the beginning of the 11th chapter of the Bhagavad Gita, second verse. The 11th chapter is called the Universal Form. So those of you who are a little bit familiar or more familiar with Bhagavad Gita, you know what will come here. And this 11th chapter is the most dramatic, from one point of view, most dramatic part of Bhagavad Gita, where also Arjuna has lots of, one big emotional experience. Yeah. Sometimes we think of Bhagavad Gita as being like a, dry dialogue. Some might think even Bhagavad Gita is not dry, but it's like dry dialogue and philosophy. But inside of Bhagavad Gita is a lot of drama, a lot of emotion. And of course, the 11th chapter is one of the most emotional parts. Not the only one, but it's very strong. So now we are in the beginning of that, how it will come to that, but I will not talk about this. Maybe I'll talk about it in a similar situation where there were some emotions involved. This is the beginning, and we read the second verse, which has a short purport. So the verse is not here, so you will not recite. Bhavapya yauhi bhutanam shrutau vistarasho maya tvata kamalapatraksha mahatmyam apicha vyayam. Translation. O lotus-eyed one, I've heard from you in detail about the appearance and disappearance of every living entity, and have realized your inexhaustible glories. Purport. Arjuna addresses Lord Krishna as lotus-eyed. Krishna's eyes appear just like the petals of a lotus flower, out of his joy. For Krishna has assured him in the previous chapter, Aham gritsnasya jagata prabhava pralayastata. I am the source of the appearance and disappearance of this entire material manifestation. Arjuna has heard of this from the Lord in detail. Arjuna further knows that in spite of his being the source of all appearances and disappearances, he is aloof from them. As the Lord has said in the 9th chapter, he is all-pervading, yet he is not personally present everywhere. That is the inconceivable opulence of Krishna, which Arjuna admits that he has thoroughly understood. Om Ajnana Timirandasya Jnananjana Salakaya Chakshur Unmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha Mukham Karoti Vachalam Pangung Langayate Girim Yat Kripa Tamahang Vande Shri Gurun Dinataranam Shri Chaitanya Manobhistam Stapitam Yena Bhutale Svayam Rupa Kadamayam Dadati Sva Adantikam Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadha Shri Vasari Gora Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare Bhavapya yauhi bhutanam shrutau vistarasho maya Tata kamala patraksha mahatmyam apichavyayam. O lotus-eyed one, I've heard from you in detail about the appearance and disappearance of every living entity. and have realized your inexhaustible glories. Hare Krishna. So the verse goes like this. So bhava apyayao means bhavya apyayao. Hi bhutanam. Bhutanam means living entities. All living entities. And bhava means their appearance, and apyayao means their disappearance. So Krishna is here addressed by Arjuna as the source of all living entities. All living entities appear and disappear because of him. And he says, I understood this thoroughly. I heard this, so I understood this. So I understand your glories in full. Prabhupada also ends this purport saying that Arjuna admits that he understood this thoroughly. So he really understood this, because in chapter 10, Krishna explains his opulences. He explains the opulences. He tells them to Arjuna. After saying, I'm the Supreme Personality of Godhead, everything comes from me and all that, the Chatushlokis, he goes into detail after Arjuna prays to him, explaining how he is the Supreme Person, how he is present and manifested in this material world. So Arjuna kind of recapitulates this information which he got and says, I understood this now. I understood that you are the Supreme. But this will not be enough, and this is the precursor of the universal form, because Arjuna says, I understood this. Shrutao means I heard it, I understood it, I really understood it, I believe it, but I want to also see it. I want to experience it. So he's not satisfied with just hearing it, he also wants to see it. And that's the reason why Krishna will show the universal form. And in this verse we hear that all living entities come from the Lord, and they also enter into the Lord. And not just the living entities, actually everything. Everything comes from Krishna, is manifested by him, everything is planned by him, arranged by him, of course through his agencies of demigods and Vishnu and all that. But in the end, Krishna is the cause of all causes. So he's behind everything. Everything is manifested by him, and everything will also enter again into him. Yeah? He is the summum bonum, as Prabhupada says. He is the absolute truth. And in this chapter, he will also show that. So Prabhupada interestingly said, when someone claimed to be the Supreme Personality of Godhead, and there are some fools out there who either directly or indirectly proclaim that, then Prabhupada said, okay, then he should show the universal form. Then he should show his universal form. Because there was once one yogi who was said to be the Supreme Personality of Godhead. And then Prabhupada said, yeah, and then a disciple of Prabhupada challenged and said, yes, then show me your universal form. And then he said, you don't have the eyes to see that. Which was quite cheap, because Krishna here in this chapter says the same to Arjuna. Arjuna asks, please show me your universal form. And then Krishna says, yeah, but you don't have the eyes to see. But I give you eyes. I give you a transcendental vision, how you will see that. So from this point, I want to switch into the Bhagavatam, because this chapter will be discussed by many devotees, and we will go into detail later on. And I don't want to take that what will come anyways now. We should go verse by verse. So now I want to jump into the 10th canto of Srimad-Bhagavatam. I need chapter 8. This is an old version which is not. I need chapter 8. Yes, it was chapter 8. So I will read you a part of the 8th chapter which has many aspects. Many parts. This is the chapter before Mother Yashoda binds Krishna. And in this chapter, there's one part where the Balya Leela of Krishna is described, meaning his baby pastime. So we are now in Vrindavan, and in the village of Vrindavan, where Krishna is a small boy. He's very small. He can talk. He can walk already. Yeah? He's not so small as in the Putana pastime. In the Putana pastime, he can only lie on the back, and he's lying in his bed, and he cannot even, I think it's said, he cannot even turn around. Right? If small babies, they are different stages, the mothers know that. There are stages of the development of a small child, when he can crawl, In the beginning they only lie, right? In the beginning they only lie, and they cannot do anything. They're so small they can just lie on their back, or however you turn them, and they cannot do anything. But then there comes a time, and mothers probably are very aware of that, because they always look and see, and they're aware, and this is the wonderful moment if the child can turn around. This is like, oh, he's only lying, he cannot, but suddenly, oh, look, it's first time turned around, it's a great event. And if the first time they can stand up or walk, it's a big event. This is the first time a child can do that. So Krishna, as imitating these human pastimes, did exactly the same. He also kept that. So there was a time when he could not turn around. He could only lie there as a small baby child. And this was when Putana came. It said he could not even turn around. So, but here we are now later in his development. He can already walk around and he can do things. And he's very, very, very naughty. And he runs around in Vrindavan and does really mischief. And one of his main mischievous activities is that he walks into the house of other people, of the gopis, of the older gopis, and makes a huge mess. And he looks, and he's not alone. He's together with his friends, and often Balaram, of course. And they watch when there's nobody in the house, and then they go into the house. And the first thing, of course, they plunder the butter and the yogurt and all the sweets. And this is what they are into it. And they destroy everything and they make huge mess. And if the sweets are not found or something, they pee on the floor, and there's the freshly cleaned floor, and they pee on the floor like, there are no sweets. And they even make big business on the floor. It's sad. Yeah. Or they enter into the chamber of the small children of the gopis, of the older gopis, and the small children are lying there peacefully sleeping, and then Krishna goes there and says, and then pinches them or something, and then they cry, ah, and Krishna runs away. So he does, that's not nice, but because Krishna does it, it is very nice. So on one day, it was simply too much. Every time the gopis and the gopas come back into the house, and the house is a mess. Everything is dirty, and the yogurt is gone, and maybe monkeys are inside, because Krishna brings also monkeys and feeds the monkeys, and the children are screaming, and there's business on the floor. Yeah. So, and then one day it's simply too much, even though they love Krishna and they are in love with Krishna, and but still out of prema, it's all prema, right? It's not that they are angry with, somehow they are, of course they're ecstatic because Krishna does it, but still. This is what Krishna wants. He wants loving exchanges of all kinds of flavors. So on one day it's simply too much, and they come all together and they go where? They go to Mother Yashoda. And they say, we have to complain. It's simply too much. And they go to her and they tell her everything Krishna did. He comes in the house and he steals all the yogurt and the butter, and he destroys the pots, and he feeds the monkeys, and he pinches the children and all that. And complain. And Mother Yashoda is very, very, very merciful. And she's, oh really, is he doing? Oh, he's doing, oh no. Oh, she's very merciful towards Krishna. And it said the gopis, they complain, but in the end they're also really satisfied and happy. And they say, okay, we know it's Krishna. Okay, what to do? And they're also kind of peaceful. And Mother Yashoda is all the time peaceful. So this was explained in this 8th chapter, and now it's where we enter. Because Krishna is not happy. He's not happy. He's not happy that they complained, number one. And he's not happy because Mother Yashoda was not chastising him. And now he thinks, I have to do something more. I want to get chastisement by my mother, which is interesting. He wants to anger her. And as I said, this is the chapter before where he really angers her when she runs with the stick after him. But before she runs with the stick after him, he makes another thing how to anger her, and this we will read now, which is connected to the 11th chapter of Bhagavad Gita. So some of you might know what this means already. And these are, I think, 11 verses, and we go through them. It's nice to hear the details. And maybe also the purport. Let's see how we talk about this. Yeah. Okay. This chapter starts with the Sanskrit word ekada, which means once upon a time. So, ekata kritamanaste ramadya gopadarakaha Krishno mridam bhakshitavan iti matre nyavedayan. One day, while Krishna was playing with his small playmates, including Balaram and other sons of the Gopas, all his friends came together and lodged a complaint to Mother Yashoda. Mother, they submitted, Krishna has eaten earth. So this is how this started. So once upon a time, and they were playing, and it's interesting, okay, the first thing to understand here, the Gopas, the small boyfriends of Krishna, and it said here, Gopadarakaha. And before I was reading some purports by our acharyas, and they say Gopadaraka means the Gopas, the sons of the older Gopas, all the cowherd boys, friends of Krishna, but Darakaha means also doll, wood, like a wooden doll. And the wooden doll has no life unless a child plays with it or someone plays with it, and it becomes alive. So why are the Gopas compared to dolls? Because it said, Mother Yashoda always told the Gopas, you go out now with Krishna, with my little Krishna, play, you will play with him, please watch him and tell me everything what he does and take care of him. That nothing happened to the small boys. Yes, we will take care of him, no problem. And they always watch Krishna what he's doing. So they are like wooden dolls controlled by Mother Yashoda. So now that Krishna eats earth, they immediately say, you should not do that. Your mother told us you should not do that. And they ran to the mother to complain because they listened to Mother Yashoda. So what's interesting also here, we don't know if he really ate the earth. Because it said here, the Bhagavatam, Shukra doesn't say, once upon a time, Krishna ate some earth, and the Gopas saw that and ran back and tell his to Mother Yashoda. No, it's only said, once upon a time, while playing with his playmates, including Balaram, all the friends came together and lodged a complaint. There's no direct point that he really ate the earth. Okay, this is an interesting point to remember. Upon hearing this from Krishna's playmates, Mother Yashoda, who was always full of anxiety over Krishna's welfare, picked Krishna up with her hands to look into his mouth and chastise him. Her eyes fearful, she spoke to her son as follows. So they ran to Mother Yashoda and said, Ma, like Amba, Krishna has eaten earth, some dirt. And Mother Yashoda is immediately, here it said fearful. And I read now in the purport of the Acharyas, Prabhupada translates like this, but it can be also seen that Krishna has now fearful eyes, because Mother Yashoda lifts him up and he might become now chastised. So Mother Yashoda lifts him up and Hitaishini said in the Sanskrit, meaning to his advantage, for his welfare. She is only thinking about his welfare. She is not chastising him. She will not do that all to punish him out of revenge or some feeling, I'm your mother, I told you shouldn't do nonsense, I will punish you. No, she's actually afraid because if you eat earth, this is not very good. This is not healthy. So what's happening? So she is worried about him and she lifts him up. And she says, Dear Krishna, why are you so restless that you have eaten dirt in a solitary place? This complaint has been lodged against you by all your playmates, including your elder brother Balaram. How is this? So she asked him, how have you eaten earth? And in the Sanskrit it's also said the word raha, which means in a solitary place. We have also this word rahasya, like secret. So, and the Acharyas explain that Krishna might have eaten, but not in front of Balaram or the Gopas. So actually the Gopas are not witnesses. And this word raha is an incident. So, and this is interesting because if nobody has seen it, how did they know? Why do they run there? And as we hear later, what will Krishna say when Mother Yashoda says that? He will say, it's not true. They are liars. So this word is an indication that he might not have eaten. But then the acharyas say, but maybe he has eaten. Because nobody knows. Nobody was there. He may have eaten. So I was thinking, if Krishna was eating dirt and nobody was seeing it, why was he doing it? Why was he doing it? You know, it's very... I eat now earth and nobody sees it. Why was he enjoying it? Or why all that? And it's very interesting. Huh? It's very tricky. What is Krishna doing here? Huh? Yes, he wants to make her angry, but still nobody was the witness of the activity itself. It just said they run and so what do they... So maybe it's not true at all. Maybe it's not true at all. But there's long discussion, the acharyas discuss. Has he eaten or not? It's a big thing. It's a big thing. It's not just, one sentence in the Bhagavatam. It's a big thing. Has he or not? Nobody was witness. We want to find out. So, Lord Sri Krishna replied, "My dear mother, I have never eaten dirt. All my friends complaining against me are liars. If you think they are being truthful, you can directly look into my mouth and examine it." So this will be the proof now. This will be the proof. If he has eaten earth. If there are some earth remnants, because if you eat lots of earth, somehow or other there might be some remnants. So Krishna is challenging now. He says, they are all liars, it's not true. And if it's true, you will find some dirt in my mouth, and then they are right. And then I'm the liar. So, but I'm confident, because I have not eaten. So Krishna is very self-conscious here. And you have to imagine the scene, because Mother Yashoda lifts him up. He's like hanging in air. Right? Either sitting on the lap, or maybe she holds him, but it's just she picked him up. So she's kind of talking with him like this small Krishna, Like small children, they're very light. So you can lift them. And she's arguing with her and hanging in air. I don't know how to envision that. So, Mother Yashoda challenged Krishna. If you have not eaten earth, then open your mouth wide. So you will probably have eaten. So open wide, I will see. I will check this now. And if I find the earth, then you will hear something. So when challenged by his mother in this way, Krishna, the son of Nanda Maharaj and Yashoda, so to exhibit pastimes like a human child, opened his mouth. Although the Supreme Personality of Godhead Krishna, who is full of all opulences, did not disturb his mother's parental affection, his opulence was automatically displayed, for Krishna's opulence is never lost at any stage, but is manifest at the proper time. We don't have time to go into detail what's explained here, because this has something to do with his Aishwarya Shakti. Why was this now manifesting? Even though it said here it was not disturbing the parental feelings of Mother Yashoda. So it's very tricky. Why is Krishna all that doing? So maybe we read the purport. Without disturbing the ecstasy of his mother affection, Krishna opened his mouth and displayed his own natural opulences. When a person is given varieties of food, there may be 101 varieties, but if one likes ordinary shak, spinach, he prefers to eat that. Similarly, although Krishna was full of opulences, now by the order of Mother Yashoda, he opened wide his mouth like a human child and did not neglect the transcendental humor of maternal affection. This is a big enigma here, so I will not try to unsolve that now. So he hangs there, Mother Yashoda looks inside the mouth, he opens his mouth, and now Mother Yashoda looks, where's the earth? Where's the earth? This is what she wants to find now. Where's the dirt? And she sees something completely different, something what she did not expect. And it's earth and much more. Yeah. She sees the whole universal form. The whole universe in the mouth of Krishna. And actually, it's said in his belly. And I was wondering when I read this now that she saw it in the belly, somehow or other Krishna gives her a vision, she sees in the belly. It's not only the mouth, actually she sees in the belly. And it said here, she sees all the moving and non-moving living entities, all the planetary systems. She sees all the directions, outer space, mountains, islands, oceans, the surface of the earth, the blowing wind, fire, the moon, stars, water, light, air, sky, creation of Ahankara, the senses, the mind, sense perception, and the three qualities, goodness, passion, ignorance. She sees everything you can see in the mouth or in the belly of Krishna, inside of Krishna. And this is where also the acharyas explain, actually, he doesn't have to eat earth because everything is inside of him anyway. So in that sense, he was lying because everything is always in him. So it's a little bit tricky how to understand. So and then she sees all this universe, everything is a small baby child. Imagine, some mothers, they have children here who are in this age kind of, like Krishna, your child is kind of in this age. You lift him up, once he comes back, Dani comes and says, "Oh, Ma, your boy has eaten earth, cow dung." He has eaten cow dung. And you will say, "What? He has eaten cow dung?" You will not say, "No, it's okay, no problem." You will say, "What? Why is it cow dung? Come here." And you will say, "No, come here. Have you eaten cow dung?" "No, I've not eaten." Dani is lying. "I have not eaten. I will never eat cow dung." Open your mouth. And then you see the whole universe. You will be a little bit shocked, probably. You might be shocked. So Mother Yashoda was shocked. And she does not only see the whole universe, she sees also, and we can imagine, kind of assume, she sees the whole universe with all the planetary systems. Then she sees Bhumandala. He had said Bhugola. When I read this, I was amazed because there's a big discussion. Is the earth a ball or flat? And also inside Vedic scripture, there might be indications for either side. And Gola means actually ball. And he had said Bhugola means earth ball, which means like a globe. And when I read this, I was, wow, interesting. There's an indication for that. And I read this a couple of weeks ago. And today I read in the purports of Vichayadvaja Tirtha, one of our acharyas, who says, Bhugola means Bhumandala. I thought, come on, because Bhumandala is a sphere, is a flat earth, right? So, and then the next acharya says, Bhugola means Bhugolam. So it's really not clear. Anyway, earth. So she sees earth, Bhumandala, and then she sees Jambudvip, it zooms in, and she sees Bharatvarsha, and of Bharatvarsha she sees Vrajamandala, and she looks in and she sees herself looking into the mouth of Krishna. And she's like, oh my God, what's going on here? Krishna gives her a full vision. And when this happens now, she is thinking to herself. And the Bhagavatam is really interesting, right? Because Vyasadeva is Trikalagya, he knows time all the times, and he knows inside out also, right? And he knows what Krishna thinks. Sometimes he said, Krishna thinks, Krishna says, Krishna doesn't. He must know if he ate the earth in a solitary place, right? He should know, but he has not written it. So anyway, so he now describes what Mother Yashoda was thinking. What she was thinking now in this situation. It's a very interesting point. Because now she wonders, what am I seeing? What is this what I see? And she makes 4 factors, 4 reasons why she could see this illusion, so to say, or this whatever it is. 4 things. Kim svapna etad uta deva maya, king va madiyo bata buddhi moha, ata amushyeva mamarba kasya, yakashana taupatika atma yoga. First, kim means like what? What? Or is this? So kim svapna, what means svapna? Svapna means a dream. She wonders, am I dreaming? She's seriously thinking maybe it is a dream. Because in dreams, things happen which are not possible, right? Sometimes we dream things which are completely out of the box. So she seriously considers, maybe I'm dreaming. This is not real. This is a dream. And Prabhupada explains in the purport, she says, she says, but I'm not dreaming. And why? I'm not dreaming because my eyes are open. I'm actually seeing what is happening. I'm not sleeping, nor am I dreaming. Then maybe this is... So she says, no, I might be dreaming, but it's not a dream. My eyes are open. I'm quite awake. This is not a dream. It's real. So the next thing, maybe it's because of Deva Maya, some illusion by the gods. She thinks maybe some gods, some mystic beings play illusion and Maya on me. And then thinks, but why should they do that? Why should the gods illusion me like this? I'm a simple woman here in Vrindavan, cowherd woman. What business do the gods have with me to play an illusion on me? Cannot be either. And then she thinks, maybe I'm crazy. And she says, Buddhi Moha. Buddhi means intelligence, Moha means like bewildered. Maybe my intelligence is bewildered, I'm somehow crazy, I'm having illusions. But he says, but no, I'm not crazy, I know I'm normal, I can think properly, everything is fine, I have no problem. It cannot be either. I feel quite normal. And then she thinks, maybe it's because of this small guy I'm holding in my hands. Maybe it is his illusion. He plays a trick on me. And then she remembered actually that in the name-giving ceremony, it's another long story, but the sage who gave the name Krishna and Balaram and to the boys, he said, actually, this small child, this baby child here is Narayan himself. Is Vishnu himself, is actually God himself who appeared as a small child in your village, my dear Nanda Maharaj. So Mother Yashoda remembers that. Whoa, maybe this is the Supreme Lord playing as my, pretending to be my son, doing all nonsense all day long, but actually it's the absolute truth which I'm holding here in my hand. And she's really shocked to come to that conclusion. And then it's very sweet how this part ends, because then it said Krishna feels that he kind of wanted to give her a little insight somehow or other. And it said, the acharyas explain that this Aishwarya Shakti, which Krishna is normally not displaying in Vrindavan, Krishna is always displaying Madhurya Shakti in Vrindavan, meaning everyone loves Krishna as his friend, as his son, as his beloved. There is no Aishwarya. There's no place of Aishwarya in Vrindavan, because this is what would happen. If all the gopis would know this is the Supreme Personality of God, the absolute truth, the source of the whole universe, He is all pervading everywhere, they could never chastise him and say, Krishna, go away, or want to kiss Krishna or something like this. The gopas would not jump on his back and fight him and take him, wrestle him. The Aishwarya Shakti means you have complete realization of the Brahman, of the absolute truth. And you understand this is the absolute person, this is God himself. And you will be full of awe and reverence. Automatically, it will happen. So there's no Aishwarya Shakti, there's no place of Aishwarya Shakti in Vrindavan. So Krishna doesn't want Aishwarya there. He wants this loving exchange with his devotees. So, but somehow or other, he gives his beloved mother this vision, but at the same moment, when he sees, it's getting too much, he takes it away. And Yoga Maya comes over Mother Yashoda again, and she is pleased again, holds him, and she says, whatever illusion this is, I don't care. This is my small boy. This is Krishna, my small Krishna. Maybe he has eaten earth, maybe not, but I love him so much. I want to kiss him. And this is how Prabhupada ends this episode, exactly with this sentence. Let me kiss him. This is what Mother Yashoda says. Mother Yashoda regarded the vision of the universal form within Krishna's mouth as an arrangement of Yoga Maya, like a dream. As one forgets everything after a dream, Mother Yashoda immediately forgot the entire incident. So this is a huge vision she had, right? Huge vision, but it was washed away by Yoga Maya. It was suddenly not important anymore, because she was overwhelmed by her love towards Krishna. As her natural feeling of affection increased, she decided to herself, now let this incident be forgotten. I do not mind. Here is my son. Let me kiss him. This was more interesting to her than this, that he might be God. And this is Yoga Maya. Yoga Maya is more is Madhurya. It's more interesting, it's more powerful than the understanding of Krishna being the Lord. And the experience the Bhakta has in this relationship with Krishna is perfectly satisfying. And Mother Yashoda loves Krishna. This cannot be understood actually. This has to be realized by the Bhakta. Yeah? So we shouldn't be interested in the Aishwarya. We should be interested only in Madhurya. So this was just the tip of the iceberg, you say, ice mountain, how do you say, iceberg, of this Leela, because I only mentioned a couple of things. There are many mysteries here involved. You know, has he eaten, has he not eaten? What does this solitary word mean? Why do the Gopas go to Mother Yashoda? Why was Krishna showing the universal form? Why was Krishna doing all that? Of course, Krishna wants to experience rasa. And he likes that Mother Yashoda is angry and all that. He wants to experience rasa. But all in all, it's a little bit mysterious. But as I said, it's only the tip of the iceberg. And in the commentaries of the Acharyas and also in the commentaries of Prabhupada, we could figure out more. So I only wanted to give some little appetizer, because I try to go more into this pastime and speak more on this in the next days when I give lecture. And let's find out what really happened. So I leave you now with a couple of questions and question marks, maybe, which should be okay to make us interested to find out about that. So all in all, Krishna's pastimes are very voluminous, how to say, very expansive, it's very big. And we should be transcendental, how is it?
Curious.
Huh?
Curious.
No, transcendental detectives to find out what happened really. Like I made a small clip video in Vrindavan where I spoke on this transcendental detective, because a detective, he wants to find out what happened. And like this is one thing, what did really happen there? Like a detective is really interested to solve this case. So this case should be open now and should be investigated by transcendental detectives to find out. And we have some information, can find out something more. But all in all, and this is what actually our acharyas did. When you read the commentaries, you see how they analyzed every Sanskrit word. What does it mean? How can it have different meanings? Can it mean this and that? And different acharyas build on the commentaries of the other acharyas to really expand the information about the Leela and to dive into it and really get absorbed. And in the end, of course, it shouldn't be just a mental word jugglery of Sanskrit terms. This is also why Srila Prabhupada kept it quite simple from a technical point of view, but actually the engagement of our intellect in the Leela and the descriptions should bring out our rasa, our love and appreciation for Krishna. As I told you the story, I guess every one of you had at certain moments a certain feeling in your heart of appreciation and nectar of Krishna's personality. How funny he is, how sweet he is, how he deals with Mother Yashoda. You might have some realization, some idea, some inspiration. And actually this is what we should go after. If you had this experience now, either one or a couple or long or short, but at least something, this is where you should build on and research the Leela to expand this, to have a continuous feeling of rasa in the hearing, perception of Krishna Leela. And the whole, and this is what the Bhagavatam should be. It should be such a rasic meditation, actually. It should be an experiential meditation of the pastime of Krishna. Yeah? So it shouldn't, when I say this, we should be detectives, it shouldn't be that we go into now all the technicalities and become intellectual. No, we should become rasika. Rasika bhuvi bhavukaha, as it said in Bhagavatam. Yeah? We should relish the Bhagavatam. And through this, develop great attachment to Krishna. And then you chant Hare Krishna, and you get all these remembrance of Krishna's wonderful pastime, and how sweet and loving and nice he is. And this is amazing, how he enchants the bhakta when we engage in the meditation of his pastimes. This is our duty. Yes? Okay, thank you very much for your attention, and this should be only the beginning. I want to speak more in this Leela before I open for some questions. my personal thing is that sometimes things slide through too quickly. And actually we should stop when you read and get into one certain aspect of a pastime, of a lila or philosophy, and reflect and think about it and really deeply understand. And take a pastime and read it once, twice, thrice, 4 times, 5 times. Get it, what it means, get absorbed. Choose an aspect of our Shastra and really work it out to really get into it. Get into it. So I want to get into this 11 verses. These are just 11 verses of the Bhagavatam. I think it were 11 verses. And I was now really cruising through very quickly because time is pressing. But in these 11 verses, there's so much inside and commentaries and all that. So I want to focus on that and speak the next days on this and try to find out more. So, but you can do this also. You should do this also. So see where your interest is and go deep. Like one devotee, I remember now, Bhakti Gauravani Goswami, who a couple of times visited us in Berlin, and he gave a seminar on the songs of Bhaktivinoda Thakur, and this Sharanagati. And every time I meet him, he kind of tells me something about this. Or I hear a lecture, somehow connected with Bhaktivinoda Thakur. And now I saw in Vrindavan, there is a huge book, thick like this, not big like this, thick like this, on the songs of Bhaktivinoda Thakur, written by Bhakti Gauravani Maharaj. He wrote a huge book about these songs and with explanations, whatever. Huge book. Meaning he is really into the songs of Bhaktivinoda Thakur and going really into it. Yeah, it's very nice. Good, thank you so much. Any questions? Anything you want to add? Yeah.
Thank you so much. It's very wonderful to hear. I have just a question came to my mind. The Cowherd Brothers you explained, they were, after they heard, they told Mother Yashoda he ate dirt. But they could also have said, hey, Krishna ate dirt, let's also eat dirt. Can you explain what may be the difference? Or what?
I don't want to speculate. I want to find out more about this and see how many informations we can get. But one thing might be in connection with this, and this was in the beginning when it was said Gopa Darakaha, that the Gopas, that means like the Sangha of Gopas, the sons of the cowherd boys. But the Acharyas explained that this word means also wooden doll. And as a wooden doll can only do what the puppet player does, so the Gopas were like this in the hands of Mother Yashoda. They were instructed, I love Krishna so much, he's my dearest. Please take care of him. Please watch him. Because she was always afraid, right? Because he walks out in the forest, he walks on the field, so many things can happen. But he was always together with his friends. So he was not alone. He was never really alone. A couple of times he was alone, but in general they were always their friends. And so Mother Yashoda, and also especially Balaram, who's the older brother, she said, please watch him. And the Acharyas explain, Krishna would never have eaten dirt in front of Balaram. Why? Because he would not allow it. Balaram is the older brother. He would say, stop this! Don't do it! He would take his hand, he would smash out the dirt or something. He would not allow it. So this is one indication why what seems that the Gopas would not eat dirt, because they don't want to support the nonsense of Krishna. In that situation at least. Of course they make many other nonsense with Krishna. But in that, because they know it's not good to eat dirt, it's not healthy, and they remember the love of Mother Yashoda. And they wanted to stop that.
So would you say they were kind of waiting what nonsense he is doing next, so that we can tell it?
No, I don't think they were like mean. It was just for Krishna interpreted it like mean. They are liars, they conspired against me. And then Krishna in this regard also said, yeah, and also as yesterday or a couple of days ago when the gopis came and complained that they are also liars. He said they are also liars. In the same breath when he said the gopas are liars, the gopis are also liars. They also said I do this nonsense. It's not true. I do nothing. I'm the nicest boy in Vrindavan, and they are all liars. So I don't know if they were waiting to let Krishna does some nonsense, because in general they were playing along with Krishna's nonsense and were happy that they feed the monkeys and take the yogurt and butter and all that, or make fun with the gopis or things like this. But in this situation, some or other were concerned about Krishna, and it's that because Mother Yashoda instructed them. Yes?
My thought was that when Krishna was eating the earth in an unseen place, which is called Raha, then the cowherd boys, they couldn't see if he was eating earth. So it doesn't matter if he did or if he did not, they were lying anyways, because they didn't see if he ate dirt, but still they complained, oh, he has eaten dirt, without knowing.
This is the tricky thing, yeah, exactly. So, but maybe he ate and somehow or other they knew. Maybe they haven't. Maybe they saw it in his teeth or something, or they saw his dirty hands, or some or other. Maybe they have not seen how he ate the dirt, because it said he ate in a solitary place. But maybe somebody had some indications that he did it. It's not said here, but these are things we can try to find out. It's very mysterious. But as I said, it's not so far. It's not clear if he really ate the dirt. Yeah.
Is this Leela also described in other Puranas?
Actually, no. There are two other very important texts about Krishna Leela. One is the Harivamsa, which is regularly quoted by the Acharyas, which says it is also very gives detailed description of Krishna's Leela, which I have not read, but there is a translation. And the other one is Garga Samhita, which is also, so maybe there. And maybe other Puranas also. But the first thing we look at, of course, is more the text itself, Prabhupada's purports, and then I have a very nice version of the Acharya's commentaries until the 35th chapter of the 10th canto. Sanatana Goswami, Jiva Goswami, Baladev Vidyabhushan, Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur, and so on, like Sridhar Swami, even Vallabhacharya. So, yeah. It's very amazing. It's very nice. Good. Thank you so much. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Srila Prabhupada. Nitai Gaur Premanande. Srila Prabhupada ki. Madhava Ki, Srila Prabhupada Ki.